If you watch this video until the end, you'll understand how to get ahead of 99% of day traders as a complete beginner. So this is a bell curve. You can see most traders are probably in the middle and they're losing money, they're making money. Some days they make a lot of money, some days they lose a lot of money. It's just 50-50. You want to end up over here. You want to be the part of the 1% who's making so much money from trading that they can quit their job, they can do it from wherever in the world they want, they can do this full time. In this video, I'm going to explain how you can do that as a complete beginner. And why should you trust me? Well, here are my broker statements. Everyone in the previous video was asking me to show my broker statement. Like, oh, we need to make sure the strategy works long term. I didn't even know how to get these. I literally had to look at a YouTube tutorial. Finally found how to get these. These are my broker statements. So I kind of know what I'm talking about. So what's the agenda for today's video? So the first thing we'll look through is why most traders fail in the first place. And you probably are included in this chapter. The second thing we're going to talk about is the secret to getting ahead. The one thing or the couple of things you need to do to get ahead. That's the second thing. And the third thing we're going to talk about is the exact strategy beginners can use to make a shit ton of money. This is going to be the same strategy that I use. We're going to explain it. And the fourth thing is we're going to talk about your 7-day challenge, like a day-by-day thing that you can do to start becoming profitable. So let's begin. Obviously, quick heads up, this is not financial advice. I'm just sharing what I do and why. Always do your research before trading. So first, why do most traders fail in the first place? Take a look at this chart, right? If you look at this chart, what do you instantly think of? And especially if you're a new trader, you're going to be thinking a few things. What are you going to be thinking? Well, here's a couple of things. The first thing I'll probably be feeling is FOMO, which is the fear of missing out. So you're going to be looking at this, you're going to be like, holy crap, stock went from $5 all the way up to 28 and I missed out on everything. So now you're thinking, maybe I should get in. Maybe I should get in right now, right? Because right now it's going to go up to $50 and I don't want to miss the next move. So you're really thinking about getting it. Maybe you feel hyped up. Maybe you're like, okay, this is crazy. It's going to keep going higher. Let's buy. Maybe you hear from your friends that one of your friends made $10,000 yesterday from this stock. And now you're thinking, damn it, I'm missing out. All my friends are making money. I'm still poor. Maybe I should buy the stock. And then you hear all these people talking about, don't miss out, bro. This is the next Bitcoin. You missed out on Bitcoin in 2012. Like, this is the new Bitcoin. Like, you have to buy today. That's all what you keep hearing. That's what you all keep hearing. And then you buy. And then what happens? This is what happens. This. And then when you end up losing half of your account over just being greedy, these are the things you start saying. You start saying, okay, trading is a scam. My grandpa, he was right. Uncle Benny, he was right. He lost a lot of money. I should have listened to him. Trading is a scam. Stock market, it's all a scam. Or you start saying stuff like retail traders stand no chance against the big banks because the big banks and the big institutions, they control the markets. We don't control the markets because we're just retail traders. You start making excuses. And you probably lost a bunch of friends and you're probably a little sad. But it's interesting. If you would have made money, if this stock, let's say, kept going up and up and up, you wouldn't be saying these things. You wouldn't say trading is a scam. You wouldn't say, oh, I'm very sad. You'd be happy. You say the opposite thing. Trading is life-changing. Trading is amazing. So most new traders, the reason people fail is because they have no idea what they're doing. They see a stock like this. They think it's going to continue going up. So they buy over here and then boom, it dumps and they lose half their money. And then they say, okay, this is a scam. You need to have a strategy. You need to understand what you're going to do. And this is what this whole video is about. So let's talk about the secret to getting ahead. What are some of the things that you can do to actually get ahead and not get pump and dumped, essentially? So when I was making this chapter, I was thinking there's this one quote I know from Abraham Lincoln. So I searched it up and this is what it is. Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. This is such an underrated quote and you can use the same ideology for trading. If you look at a stock chart, right? Let's see a stock chart going up like this. You can say, okay, it's going to continue going up, so let me buy it over here and then it dumps. Now you lost all your money. Or you can sit there and say, okay, the stock chart is doing this, whatever. Let me back test. Let me find a strategy. Let me have my risk management in place. Let me find a good strategy that will actually make me money. And if you do that correctly, you might realize, okay, you know what? This stock is a bit too high or it's not a good buy or whatever. So you avoid taking a trade. And then it goes down. That's when you buy. And then it goes back up. The whole point I'm trying to say is don't just FOMO into trades. The reason that most people trade or lose money trading is because they have no idea what they're doing. They just see a stock going up like this and they just want to buy. Or they hear that their friend made $10,000 and they just randomly buy a stock. You can't be doing these things. If you want to take this stuff seriously, which I really believe you should because it's life-changing, you should have a strategy. You should know what you're doing, right? You should treat trading like a business. Like how you would treat your health. You shouldn't just it's put on the back burner, you know, maybe not. Like, no, you should actually give a fuck. That's what I'm trying to say. So the first thing I want to try and like just solder into your brain is that you need to trade smart and not hard, right? I know it's very cliche, whatever, but like just try and understand me. You need to trade smart, right? You need to follow and understand proven strategies, right? Don't go out there and just be like, okay, I'm just gonna figure out the market by myself. There's no reason to do that, right? Follow something that works, that has been proven to work, and use that. And understanding is even more important because people hear all about these concepts. I'm sure you've heard of it as well, like stuff like ICT concepts, like smart money, SMC concepts, all this stuff. And you're thinking, you're like, what is this? What does this mean? Like, yeah, on my screen I see a fair value gap. Like you probably heard of some of these things. I see a fair value gap. I see all these like inverse splits and these bank displacements, but I honestly don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. If you feel like that's yourself, then stop doing it. Because if you don't know what a FVG or a SMC is, then just stop. It doesn't make any sense. Find something which you can understand, which is simple, right? And something that works. There's no point learning all this crap if you don't understand it. Another thing you have to really focus on is consistency. None of this happens without consistency. You saw my broker statements. If on the start of my broker, I made one big loss and I just gave up, I literally wouldn't be in this position right now. It's through consistency that you get better. You don't just start something randomly unless you're talented and immediately you're just at a 100% and you're better than everybody else and you're in your first position and you get a trophy. No, that's not what happens. When you start something, you suck and it's painful and it's awful. But slowly you get better. Yes, there's going to be points where you stagnate or you even go down a little bit. But then you analyze, you review everything, and then you keep getting better. But this can only happen through consistency, right? If you're not consistent, you're gonna this is what's gonna happen. You need to be consistent. There's no way around it. You need to be consistent. And the last thing I want to say is this whole idea of like YOLO and FOMO. Just get out of your head, right? You cannot be YOLOing into trades or FOMOing into trades. You cannot be doing that. Now, I'm not perfect either. I FOMO into trades sometimes, but I keep it to a bare minimum, right? So as long as you follow these three main concepts, you really should be good to go. And these are just some of the wins from the community. Now, the exact strategy beginners can use, let's talk about this, because this is the strategy that I use. I literally do not trade another strategy. This is the only strategy that I trade, and I trade full time. And these are some of the wins that I've made from using this strategy. So over here you can see in just a couple of minutes, in like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever, like 10 minutes, made this whole trade, made thousands of dollars. Same thing over here. In a couple of minutes, bought over here, sold over here, made another $1,000. Bought over here, sold over here, made some money. Like, this is a strategy that I use every single day to make money in the stock market. Like, this is the only strategy I use. I don't use anything else. No fair value gaps, SMC, none of this stuff. Like, I can understand what I'm doing here. I understand why I buy, why I sell. It all makes sense to me. And there's no reason you can't do this either. I'm not a smart person. I'm a normal guy, right? So let's talk about what the strategy is all about. The whole strategy is about trading gappers. Now, I talked about this in some of my other videos and people were like, oh yeah, but this doesn't work with futures and this doesn't work with Forex. Duh, of course it doesn't work with did you watch the video? Like, this is not about futures or Forex or options. This is just about small cap, small float stocks. That's all this is about. This is not going to apply to Forex or futures or any of this stuff. So what are gappers, right? Let's talk about gappers. Gappers are essentially, this is a daily chart. So you can see that one day the stock closed at this level over here and the next day it opened at this level. Why was there a massive gap in the chart? What is this discrepancy? What is this? This is simply the stock going up overnight because of something, because of a catalyst, because of some news, because of like some FDA approval, because of whatever. So what happened over here was the company closed their stock price at this level. Then they announced something. Maybe they announced, hey guys, the FDA approved our medicine for treating depression. And then overnight, everyone was like, holy shit, let's buy the stock. And then boom, the next day it opened up over here, right? Now the reason we trade these stocks is because they're extremely volatile. They're super volatile. And this happens every single day. It might shock you, but this literally happens every single day. And it's not just one or two, there's a lot. There's like 10 every single day that gap up. And so all we need to do is we need to figure out which one from the 10 we're going to be trading, buy that, sell it, and repeat every single day. Rinse and repeat. And this is literally what I do every single day. This is literally how I make a living. So let's talk about the 4 steps. There's 4 steps to this. This is the 4 steps that I follow every single day. And let's go through them step by step. Step number 1 is to go to a stock screener. The one I use is on TradingView. You can use one on FinViz, on whatever. Don't overcomplicate this. All you need to have is a gap percentage. That's all you need to have. And you need to have a minimum of a 20% gap. So I'll show you what that means. This is a screenshot of the screener on TradingView. You can see I have my gap percentage like we talked about. I have a minimum of a 20% gap and I have all the tickers listed to the left. That's it. That's all you need. Don't overcomplicate it. That's all you need. Once you have this list, you're good to go. You move on to step 2. Step 2 is you need a watch list, right? So we're not going to trade all of these, I don't know how many, like 15 stocks. We're not going to be trading them. We're going to trade just one out of the 15, right? So watch listing is just a process of eliminating certain ones for certain reasons and keeping certain ones for certain reasons. That's all it is. So how do we figure out the ones that we're going to keep and the ones we're going to just throw away? The ones that we're going to keep, they have a couple of characteristics. One of the characteristics they have is high volume. So you'll notice when the pre-market chart, when you load it up, it'll look something like this. And you'll see that they have a lot of volume. Like volume increases. Sometimes it decreases, goes up and up and up. We need something like this. What we don't need is a stock that has barely any volume. And this is how it's moving, like a fucking heartbeat. And it has barely any volume. No volumes, a lot of volume, and then no volume. We don't need this. We need something like this with a lot of volume with the moving. Then we need a small float, like I mentioned, and a support level. Support level is very important. You cannot find a support level if a stock is doing this. You can only find a support level when there's a lot of volume. So for example, on that day, I found this stock. You can see that there's a crap ton of volume, and we can see that there's very obvious support. And I put all the support lines on the chart. So I said, okay, this is one support at this price level, and if that fails, we have another support level on this price level. That's all I did. So I've watch listed. So we went from 10 on the gap scanner to just 1. And I've listed out the support levels. That's how simple it is. And obviously, if you're inside the community, I told you the support levels in the stock market trading. Now, step number 3 is to buy when the stock confirms support. We're never going to buy when the market opens because we don't know what's going to happen. Stock will go up, down, sideways, we don't know. We want to wait until the stock confirms our support area. This is the most important part. If you mess this up, you're not going to make any money. So buying it right at the market, like I said, is a terrible idea. So this is what I did. For that specific stock, this is the exact time I bought. So over here, I saw that the stock started going up and it started like respecting the support. While it was respecting the support, I could see a lot of volume coming in over here. That's when I entered. Simple as that. It hit my support. A lot of volume came in. People were buying. I was like, perfect. This is perfect entry. That's how simple it was. Simple as that, right? Now, step number 4, the last step is to sell. There's a couple of reasons that sell. I'm going to talk about VWAP in this case because VWAP was the reason I sold. So VWAP, you can see over here, is this orange or yellow line over here. That's the reason I ended up selling. So as you can remember, I bought around about this level. The stock opened the next candle and it surged all the way up till here. And that's exactly when I sold because I saw that there was resistance on VWAP. And boom, this is my profit. This is it. Done. Literally, how long was I trading for? Like 2 minutes? 2 minutes and that's it. That's how simple it is. That's it. No SMC, no full moon, half moon, concept, quarter, like none of this stuff. It's super easy. This is literally what I do every single day. Now you can see the full live trade in the Drako Room. So you can see the exact moment I entered, and you can see how much money I made. Now, let's talk about your 7-day challenge. Let's talk about like the day by day. What you can do day by day to become a profitable trader using this strategy, right? So let's go through that. So day number 1, aka today, you should start your 7-day free trial of the Drako Room, right? So this is my community. You can see I post a watch list every single day. I have trade reviews, live reviews, month reviews, a wins channel, a chat channel, a whole course in there. There's so much stuff. Everyone's making wins like almost every single day. It's insane. So start your free 7-day trial. I'm giving this to you for free, right? So you have nothing to lose. Day number 2, you want to open a broker. If you don't already have a broker, open a broker. If you have one, perfect. You can skip this. Day number 3 is to watch the full course inside Discord. There's a full course inside Discord that explains the strategy. It shows you examples of entries and exits. It's amazing. So go look at that. Day number 4, you want to watch the live trades and the trade reviews. So I have, I think, over 70 or 80 or 90 reviews in there, right? Of me just reviewing every single one of my trades. Every single one of them is in there. Go watch them. Go watch the live trade reviews. The people who make the most money inside the community have watched the most trade reviews and live reviews. So just FYI. Day number 5, you want to use the watch list and paper trade. Don't ever start your first trade with real money because you need to understand, you need to practice, right? You need to practice buying, selling, all that stuff. So use the watch list and paper trade and review your trade. Very important to review your trade. You cannot be doing this if you're just casually, we'll see where it goes. No, review your trade. Why did you buy? Why did you sell? How much money did you make? How much money did you lose? Review it. Right? Day number 6, same thing. Take your second trade with a watch list and review it. Same exact thing. And day number 7, you should have had at least one win by now. So share that win with the community like everybody else, and you can be sharing your screenshots on the wins channel like I showed you in the last slide. So if you do want to join the community, click the link in the description to start your 7-day trial for completely free. I'm going to be closing the group pretty soon to just focus on the members inside. I don't want like too many people in there. So if you do want to get in, this is a perfect chance. Click the first thing in the description now to join for free. If you guys want to watch a video where I explain why I stopped using indicators and how it actually made me profitable overnight, click the video just popped up. It goes through a lot of like misconceptions about indicators and what people do and what people do wrong. Pretty interesting video. Go click that. As always, guys, subscribe, like, comment, all that good YouTube stuff. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.